This week on the Gun Room, we get to shoot the latest of Colt's reintroduced snake guns, the 44 Magnum Anaconda. In 2017, Colt returned to the revolver market with the introduction of the Cobra. That was followed by the King Cobra and then the one that everybody was getting Twitter-pated about, the Python. Now, when the Python was reintroduced, everybody went mad, and it was great that Colt was bringing it back because originally they said that no way could it come back because there were too many hand operations involved in its production. And those guys, the guys who hand-fitted parts, had left the company a long time ago, and a lot of them had been patted in the face with a shovel. Colt then went back to CNC machines and decided that, yeah, okay, with modern manufacturing techniques, we can probably eliminate a lot of those hand steps and bring the guns back. The Anaconda was discontinued in 2003, and for my money, this is the one that I've been waiting for. The reason being that, well, with a 357 mag, I can do things faster, quicker, better, higher capacity with, say, a Glock 20 and 10mm. 44 Magnum, on the other hand, takes things to another power level, and I can actually go hunting big game with this. All right, let's take a look at the Anaconda from stem to stern. Like its smaller brother, the Python, it has a full-length underlug under the barrel, and it's also got a ventilated rib. For a 44 mag, this makes a lot of sense to me because it shifts weight forward towards the muzzle and helps to counter muzzle rise under recoil. The front sight is a red ramp, kind of similar to the Model 29 Smith & Wesson, and the rear sight, when it was installed, was a simple black U-notch. No white outline, no dots, but still fully adjustable for windage and elevation. Of course, I had to remove the rear sight and then mount in its place the available Picatinny rail from Colt, and then stick a loophole DPP on top of that. With this combination and the ammunition that I hand-loaded, I was able to achieve 4-inch groups at 100 yards, which I certainly can't do with iron sights. Let's take a look at the rest of the gun then. Colt's engineers have endowed the Anaconda with a 1.9-inch long cylinder. With a 1.9-inch long cylinder, it's longer than Sammy spec, and therefore you can load long. So if you have a bullet with a second crimp groove, you can seat it out of the case, free up a little bit of case capacity, and stuff more powder in there. What it does mean is that you sacrifice a full-length ejection stroke. For example, if you do have a sticky case, say hot temperature conditions, heavier crimp, then when you do come to eject that case, you may have to end up picking it out by hand. The coolest thing about the Anaconda, as far as I'm concerned, quite apart from its 44 mag chambering, is its trigger. Apart from, say, Korth or Manurin, there isn't a better factory trigger out there as far as I'm aware. I've compared this to my Model 29 and my Ruger Redhawk, and there is simply no comparison. In terms of double action pull, it's so freaking smooth that there's a tiny little bit of stacking at the end, but you can pull all the way through, and you do not disturb that sight picture at all. The single action pull is decent. It's about a 4-pound pull, and it has a positive sear engagement. So if you take a look at this hammer very carefully, as I pull the trigger, you'll see the hammer come back as the sear disengages and then falls off of it. Boom. What that means is you can tune this to, say, a neutral sear engagement angle, but if you do that, then you do perhaps compromise safety. Speaking of safety, there is a transfer bar at the back. The only way that that firing pin is getting hit is if the hammer is in its full cock position. When that happens, the transfer bar raises into position and allows the energy from the hammer to transfer to the firing pin and then to the primer. It's a very safe system, and one that's used in Rugers. If you take a close look at the trigger itself, you'll see there's a number of serrations cast into its face. Normally on a gun that I shoot double action for the majority of the time, I don't like serrations on there. However, these are kind of more of an aesthetic addition. They're so rounded over that you don't actually notice when your finger's on the trigger, so really doesn't impact the trigger pull at all. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the only way to test a hunting handgun is to take it out in the field and actually hunt with it. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been doing just that. And I've been carrying it in a Black Point tactical chest rig to keep my hands free. As you can see, this was set up originally for iron sights, and I had to hack the hell out of it using a hacksaw my pocket knife and a little bit of fire. Once it did that though, it retains the gun extremely securely, and I've dragged it through the brush without any problems whatsoever. All right, you've heard me prattle on quite long enough. Let's go take it to the range and see how it shoots.